flight 4A2 from New York to Vietnam. We will shortly be arriving at Noi International Airport. Please return to your seats immediately and make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened. It is a hot and sunny afternoon in Noi today. We would like to take this opportunity to thank you for flying with Vietnam Airlines and look forward to serving you again in the near future.
Hi guys! Welcome to Vietnam. This is Honey and I'm a member of Hanoi Free Private Tour Guide. So first of all, I have a question for you. Have you been in Vietnam? So have you visited the old quarter in Hanoi? And did you see any differences between Vietnam and your countries? So today I will be your tour guide to help you to explore the differences between Vietnam and your country in terms of the culture and characteristics in the building. Let's get started! So, let's get started with the Asian house of the number 87 Mai Street. I will put the picture here, you can see that. It is a typical example of Vietnamese architecture in Vietnam in the 19th centuries, and it is also the famous tourist attraction in Vietnam. Before 1945, it was used by a rice trader in Hanoi, and after that, the house was specialized in selling medicines by a rich Chinese families. And in 1954, the government allocated the house into 5 family members to living there. The house was built in a tube-shaped structure. A tube-shaped house is a long and narrow structure, and it is a way to help the owner to reduce the tax paying because the tax were decided by the weight of the facing facade, so reduce the size and help them to minimize the tax they have to pay to the government. So the house consists of the narrow facade, a concession of the building, and courtyards. The house also has the removable wooden panels. Inside the house, the living room and the altar are the most sacred areas in the house. The courtyards as well as the skywall can provide the house with the fresh air and light. If you come into the house, you can see that almost the furniture there are made from wood, ceramic, and bamboo, which are the traditional materials in Vietnam. This Asian house as well as the other architectures in Vietnam was painted in yellow. So you may ask why the house in Vietnam was painted in yellow. So I will answer your question. Because when French come into Vietnam, invade Vietnam, they want to bring the image of Paris into Vietnam. The additional reason is paint the house in yellow can have the house remain new despite of the size of towns. So let's move on. Traditional Vietnamese kitchen. Vietnam is an agricultural country, right? So all of them are farmers. So farmers have to wait for the trees grow up to cultivate the value of them. So they appreciate a stable living rather than moving. Therefore, the house as well as the kitchen is very important to them. Correspondingly, the kitchen is associated with the image of the woman, the mother in the house. So, therefore, the woman as well as the mother in the house is very important to them. So, at that time, the Vietnamese culture can be called as matriarchy. Matriarchy is a kind of system. In that system, the role of the woman, higher than the role of the man, because at the time the woman can decide all the things or the problem existing in the house. But after that, when the China come into Vietnam and has many assimilation policy, so they changed the Vietnamese culture into patriarchy. Patriarchy is a kind of system. Is a system. The role of the man is, put a high place than the woman. So the man can decide all the things, all the problems existing in the house as well as in the society. The kitchen is very important to Vietnamese people because it provides a vital energy to the whole family. Yes, and it is considered as a place to bring prosperity to the whole family. According to Yin and Yang theory of 5 elements, metal, wood, fire, water, and earth, we can see it existing in the kitchen both in the past and now. The first one is metal element. We can see that is cooking utensils like pots, pans, saucepans. All of them have a circular shape, right? It symbolizes a full year of the family. The next one is earth element. I have an example here. Do you know that? That is the typical items in Vietnam, a pair of chopsticks. We use this to pick up fruit to eat. It is quite different from your country, right? Your country use knife to cut the fruit into the smaller one to eat. But in Vietnam, we use chopstick to pick the fruit because Vietnam is an agriculture country, right? So the fruits are from the farm. They are vegetable. They are very small, so we just need a chopstick to pick it up to eat. And we can see the chopstick. One have a square ends, and the one have the round end. It is a harmony of yin and yang. The next one is water. Water is just water in the kitchen, but also the liquid in the kitchen, like the cooking oil. So this is a symbol of the wealth of the family. The next one is it's fire element. Fire symbolizes the abundant energy of the family and the wealth of the family's member. And the next one is the earth element. Earth element is the people who opened the kitchen and cooking in that. Yes, that is the woman. So the women play an important role in Vietnamese culture. So if we conversing all elements, so the Vietnamese people believe that it can bring everything smoother and convenient, more convenient. Now we will continue with talking about the meal in Vietnam and its importance to Vietnamese. And I have a question for you. Do you know any differences between Vietnam and your country in the meal? It is a typical answer. It is the utensils. In Vietnam, we use a pair of chopsticks to pick up food to eat. But in your country, you use knife and fork to divide it to smaller ones to pick up rice. But Vietnam is an agriculture country, so the fruit in Vietnam is very small. So we don't need fork or knife to divide it. So we just use a pair of chopsticks to pick it and eat. It is a typical answer for that. And the meal is very important to Vietnamese people. And after a hard working day, all members come home and sitting together and eating together. So it is a symbol of communal culture in Vietnam. So in the meal we can talking, joking, or telling funny story. The child can share what they do and what they studied at their school to the whole member. And one way to show the caring to the other member, like giving food to each other is a way to show the caring to the members. So the kitchen is important because we can deeply understand the other members. So it's very important to Vietnamese people. Therefore, in Vietnam, we have idiom to give prominence to the meal, like a hungry belly has no ears. Or many words the word eat in Vietnam is ăn, has root in the first of the word, like ăn mặc, ăn ở, ăn chơi, ăn cắp, ăn trộm. So you know that they very important to Vietnam. The meal is very important to Vietnamese. Traditionally, the meal is a habitat for them because they will have food to eat, they will have funny stories together, and they will be taught a lot of valuable lessons from the other people, like how to treat, how to behave properly in the society. From the eating manner, like chewing carefully, eating slowly, and the observation skill, like when someone out of rice, they have to give them rice on the bowl, and how to respect the older people, like they can eat after the elder people eat first. In the meal, they also have a lot of soft skills. They will learn a lot of soft skills, like they will be self-aware of a healthy diet, they can cooking the meal by themselves, and they will be more independent in their life, and it is a soft skill that they can use when they enter the real life after growing up and they have to far away from their family members. Let's move on. Another characteristics of Vietnamese architecture. It is facade. Facade is a wooden or bamboo structure that put under the door frame to help the door be more stable. It can be used as a limit point between the inside and the outside of the door. It can be used like a space separation and help to prevent the animal and dangerous animal to come into the house and harm to the owners. The citizens believe that if they have a threshold, it can increase the aesthetics of the house. Additionally, according to Feng Shui, the threshold can help the house a happy family to prevent the bad energy from the outside to the house. So it can change the energy of the house, and that can bring the prosperity to the families. So now I will tell you the meanings of threshold in Vietnamese culture. First of all, just imagine that when you step over the threshold, right? You have to look down and lower your head to avoid tripping. So it is a way to show respect to the owners of the house. So when you come into the house, you have to, follow through the culture of the owners. So the vessel also used like you have to put on the hustle, frustration and calculation outside of the house, and then you step over the house to comfortably and take care of the family's member by the happy face, happy smile like that. So you forget all about it when you come into the house and step over the threshold. The next one is when you clean the door, sweeping the house. When you see the threshold, you have stopped and you sit down and pick up the trash. And it is a lesson that each family have a bad or the good thing. So we don't to all it out to the outside for every people to know that all the bad thing and the worst thing. And in the country, in the culture of Vietnam, in the past, it is have an eyes in the vessel. This eye will follow you when you go far away from the house. They will follow you and support you and waiting for you to come back to the house and having a good time and good memories with the family's member and something like that. Ta-da! It's the end of the today tour to the Asian house in Hanoi. Did you catch any information about Vietnamese architecture, Vietnamese culture, or the difference between Vietnam and Western countries in terms of culture? It's my honor to be here with you to introduce Vietnam to you. And this is Honey, and see ya!